Hello, Maverick traders, and welcome out to your daily currency recap. This is Ankit here, and let's break down today's market price action. It's a Tuesday, April the 9th. Let's get into it. As always, we're going to start with our top-down analysis, taking a look at what's happening in the broader markets, and then take a look at currency baskets, and then talk about some possible setups ahead. Let's get into it.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
So looking at market analysis ahead, let's get right into the numbers. So as you can see that today on the news, markets are sideways ahead of the US CPI report. So this is again very common when there's a lot of focus on the economic data. We start to see markets get choppy, and that's exactly what we're seeing in the first couple of days of this trading week. Now, Aussie and the Kiwi, despite of all the news or the noise, they are outperforming clearly. But we just have to kind of look at what's the big mover tomorrow and really set our premise around it. So if you just take a look at the numbers, and let's just get right into it, you can see that there's a lot of underperformance today. We are seeing the yen and the dollar being underperforming. We're seeing the euro underperforming. And the CAD is underperforming. So a lot of the places that were actually outperforming earlier is now underperforming. Swiss franc took a little bit of break here because I think we have seen more weakness on other places. So Swiss franc is taking a break. Still like it on the downside, but take a look at the Aussie and Swiss franc. Remember, these were the currencies that were not taking part in any rallies, and here they are. So whenever you see that shift, despite of what you think about it, you just want to go with what's moving. Now that's exactly what's moving. Our entire focus for next 24 hours is going to be the dollar, and slowly take a look at some of the dollar crosses. Now let's take a look at broader markets. You can see that broader markets are not doing much either. The S&P only up 0.23%. It's just going back and forth. Early in the day it was weaker. Then it recovered some of the losses towards the end of the day. But again, not a strong price action. The market is waiting for the numbers tomorrow. Same thing with the World Stock Index. Gold is the one that's trending, again, adding another 0.61%. Again, really powerful move as we get that big breakout on a daily chart. That's really what the movement is. And the oil markets, even though it's been strong, got a little pullback here. We have continued to see some weakness in the crypto market. So again, we've seen crypto kind of goes in phases. There's a lot of hot money that goes into it, and then we get a big pullback. So that's exactly what we're getting here. I think right now the focus is not going to be on the crypto. I think that the focus is going to be on places that where, again, we'll probably get a bigger move. Now, looking at the cryptocurrencies, you can see that weaker ones are the Ethereum and Litecoin. Bitcoin Cash is the one holding much better, but then here we are, Bitcoin Cash as well is going down. So again, not a whole lot of price action that wants you to buy here. Maybe there's a little bit more further pullback in the crypto markets. Now let's just get right into the markets here. So what do you see here? Well, the market is still +2 to +3. If you just take a look at where we are, again, nothing really has changed. But one of the things you'll notice is that now we have gone sideways. For a clear point here, we were moving higher and higher. Now you can see that we got a big nasty candle here. You can see that after that, we're just not really moving anywhere. So market just needs that catalyst, either to break higher or lower. And at this point, it can go really either way. So be prepared for tomorrow. If there's an uptick in the CPI, I think that will be not so good news for the equity markets, but the dollar and the yields are likely to rise on that news. That's really where we are. Taking a look at the news again, the whole lot to go through. Starting tonight with the RBNZ rate statement. Again, right now, I don't really see why they had to be hawkish. Price action has been bullish. So this is where, we could see a little pullback at first and then maybe rally towards the end. This is what happens usually around the stronger price action. Despite of the news, you get that opposite news and then you just got to cover, and those becomes a good buying opportunity. So we'll see what happens. I don't plan to trade that. Again, my big focus tomorrow is going to be around the US CPI. So you can see that the year-over-year uptick is expected, and then core CPI. Again, we are seeing a lot of the economic numbers are holding strong. Commodities are getting expensive. I won't be surprised if we get a stronger number, but again, that's just my bias. So we just have to really decide, am I trading my bias or am I just trading the price action? But that's going to start with that. And we have the Bank of Canada rate statement as well. So again, no expectation from any changes from the central banks. But again, it's the statement is what's really in the focus here. Hawkish, dovish, that's the question that everyone's asking. So tomorrow, again, looking for some pickup in activity. You can see that Thursday and Friday is also a busy day. So the starting tonight is really where we're going to get busier in the markets. So looking at our currency analysis, let's just jump right into the velocity scores. And what do you see in the velocity score? There's a lot more red versus green. Only the Aussie and the Kiwi are on the green, but then pound is a +1. There's a lot more on the negative side. So we really have to really break it down, okay, where we can find the biggest move in tomorrow's price action. So let's just jump into Trader Workstation and take a look at some possible setups ahead.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
All right, so let's just jump right into the markets here and then take a look at where we can expect some movement. So at first, I want everyone to take a look at where we are. Broader markets, they look overbought. No doubt about that. Again, look at that big rally that we have had seen in the markets pretty much since November, November, December. So big rallies there. Now it looks like markets are running out of the steam here, but at the same time, it's not rolling over. So this is, again, what we call some bulletproof market where, you're getting them piercings through, but nothing really changing. The only place that looks more weaker to me is the tech. If you take a look at the tech, this is going more sideways here. It's between the 20 to 50 moving average. So I think market could go either way at this point. But let's just take a look at the bond yields. What are they doing? 10-year bond yields. Well, we got a little slight pullback over here ahead of it. We still had this breakout that we had. So again, tomorrow we'll find out if this is going to quickly recover or it's going to fall back in the range. But again, if I have to really take a bet, I'd rather take a bet towards stronger number in the CPI versus weaker, just because where we are in the economy. If we have a weak economy, I think will be different, but we really have a strong economy. So let's take a look at the dollar here. So you just look at the price action, dollar is actually weakening into the neos. So again, this is where it could really go either way. The underlying price action doesn't seem to support that strong thesis, but one thing you got to realize that around these numbers, things can change really fast. We can go in with the negative momentum or sentiment and could just totally turn opposite because this market will react to the news. So right now, the dollar is sort of pulling back here, but it's still above the 50 moving average. I don't really plan on making a short call on this until we really break below this 50 moving average. So let's just take a look at what's really moving. Aussie's moving, beautiful price action. You can see how this thing has been stuck for months at a time. But here we are, commodities running. It's really helping some of these growth currencies. Take a look at Kiwi. Even Kiwi was the weaker one. It's gotten above the 20 and it's right below the 50. If tonight's RBNZ rate statement, it can get above it, I won't be surprised if it hit the resistance. But I think right now, I don't want to be short on the Kiwi here. Initial price action might dip, but we'll have to see if it stays weak or does it recover fast. But what you notice in stronger price action is that market recover, or these dips recover much faster. Similar to what we were seeing in the equity markets. Take a look at the equity markets. Every time we pull back, well, guess what happens? Gravity pulls it up. And that's exactly what you get in a strong direction. The gravity kind of pulls it up, either on the upside or it's on the downside. So let's just talk about possible setups ahead. I really like Swiss franc short, and it still stays a short on my watch list here. And take a look at the yen. Yen's still weakening. So let's just jump into some bullish case scenarios tomorrow for this report. Dollar yen, beautiful high base setup. 152 is sitting at 151. This again goes on the top of the list here, followed by dollar Swiss franc. And again, you can see that even though the dollar is weakening, it's holding steady against the Swiss franc. So both remains on my list as a stronger bias is there. Dollar CAD, you can see this is another one I'll be paying attention to. Breaking above the 136 would be a good viable candidate to the long side. Now, what do I want to short? Short dollar against. So Aussie USD, you can see that on a daily chart. It's right up against that resistance. If it breaks this level, this can easily get towards, the higher upper end of that range. Kiwi dollar would take a look at it tonight. But right now, based on this price action, prior support is now the resistance. If this can clears above this 52 moving average, same thing, this can easily rise towards that 62 area. So really, that's really where we are. I think these are the currency pairs that I'm taking a look at. I'm not really as focused on the euro. Euro's kind of in the middle there. Pound USD kind of in the middle there. I really want to be dollar yen, dollar Swiss franc, maybe a dollar CAD because the Bank of Canada raise statement tomorrow. But then we have the Aussie dollar and the Kiwi dollar on the long side. So that's really what we're looking at. Again, right now at this moment, nothing looks great here. Again, other than those Aussie crosses, everything kind of moving along the same lines. But if there is sort of a change that's supposed to come, again, that's going to be on the news tomorrow. And RBNZ again tonight. If you're looking for that, I know some traders don't want to trade that later night. Again, personally, I will be focusing on the US CPI. That's where all the focus is. And then we'll probably take a look at some possible setups that we just looked at. Both, again, as a trader, you want to be prepared for both possible best case scenario and worst case scenario. And we'll go into it, trade the news as we always do, and look for some good pips. Thanks for joining. Have a good rest of the evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.